It's 9 o'clock in the morning on November 11th, Monday, 2024, and I'm moving the sheep. Last time they jumped this bottom wire, but this time I'm going to do a little training because I made it a little opening and I'm standing here. They can't really cross the wire because for fear of me. Yes. There we go. That's what I wanted. Come on, little guys. This is the last row, the southernmost part of my pasture. It's about 60 feet wide, and the way I measure is these T-posts are about 10 feet apart, more or less. It works out. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then the corner is another 80, so maybe 80 feet wide. This last 10, 20 feet though, there's not much growing there. Let me show you what I mean. It's always in shade from these trees on the border here. Here we go. You can see there's just not much growing down this last 10, 20 feet, maybe 10 feet, right? So whenever I'm in this row, I give them a little extra room. It works out nice. Everything just kind of works out. So if you're wondering, this spring, early winter, I guess it was still winter, when Rami was born, he broke his leg and he hit himself back here somewhere. It took a little work to get him back, and then I wasn't sure if he could survive a broken leg. It turns out lambs can survive a broken leg. You just put a splint on there, make it nice and snug but not too tight, you know, and within a week or so the leg should mend and there shouldn't be any issues. So in that parable of the lost sheep that Jesus tells, I've always wondered, why did that sheep wander? Why did he stray? And of course, in our modern society we say, oh, he just kind of decided to go his own way. But if you raise sheep, the sheep like to stick together. They don't like to spread out. They certainly don't like to run away from each other, except in periods of severe threat, in which case they scatter, right? All of them run away in different directions. But why would one sheep out of 100 decide to leave, or a lamb or whatever? And the answer is pretty simple. The young sheep, when they're really young, when they're like first born, their natural instinct when they get hurt is to just become silent and find a place to hide in the brush, right? That's their survival mechanism. That's how they survive, right? And as a shepherd, you have to go out there and check and make sure that there's no lambs left behind. Same with calves. Calves like to hide in the brush and the grass. So, if you have newborn calves for the first 3 or 4 days, they will actually leave the row that they're in and hide in the grass. So if you don't see your calf, don't fret too much. He's probably just out there, 50 or 100 feet away from the cows. And Mama will go back to get him. So Mama knows where he is. The sheep aren't so much that way though. Sheep are more prone to ignore their lambs. And so in this case, Granny was Rami's mom. And so Granny stayed behind here in this area, knowing that she had a lamb in the brush there, and she wouldn't leave, right? So I kind of knew that there was a lamb, because I knew that she had twins. So I come back the next day and I see Granny with one, and I'm like, where's the other? Where's the other? And Granny's like sticking right where I'm standing right here, which is just a few feet away from where Rami was. So that's some insight to that parable there about why a sheep would stray like that, why it would hide in the brush and avoid detection, and how a shepherd knows. Because 100 sheep, I can't count to 100. I don't imagine ancient people had any easier time counting to 100 than I do. But the sheep keep moving around, and so you don't know if you counted a sheep twice or if you missed a sheep. So, I couldn't tell you if one of my sheep is missing until I pin them all up and count them. Now maybe, I know in the ancient world they used like these pins. They built like little buildings with a small hole, so one sheep would come in at a time. They could probably count them that way. So, at night or in the evening when they bring the sheep in, They count, there's 99 instead of 100. They're like, we're missing one, but they don't know which one's missing. And so how do they find that sheep the next morning? Well, they let the sheep out, and the mom is going to make a beeline for that baby. And that's how they knew. Anyway, just some insights I had. I knew that I would learn something about the ancient world, their mindset, if I actually did some of the things they used to do. That was just common knowledge. Everybody knows, right? How sheep work and how cows work. Well, not in today's world. We have no idea, right? But I learned a lot by watching the behavior of the sheep about why we're compared to sheep, right? We have a strong impulse to group together, to stick together. The good shepherd versus the hireling, right? The sheep know their master. Look at this. You know, they don't like me, but they know who I am, and they're not scared of me. And they'll follow me into the next row, you know. But if somebody else came here, the sheep would probably be a lot more skeptical, you know. And if I don't threaten the sheep, if I keep them safe, they'll kind of spread out a little bit, but they'll stay together, you know. But if I start trying to herd them like a cow, I get behind them, make noise, and, you know, threaten them, they don't like that. They scatter, right? And so how do you move sheep? You have to basically lead them. Right, now sometimes I lead from behind, just gentle, you know, just kind of let's go. But sometimes I can go in the front and just kind of call them, and they'll kind of move towards me, especially if they know it's time to move to a new pasture. So, yep, learning all about sheep. That Jesus guy was pretty smart. All right, you guys have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.